Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, helping people in San Diego buy, sell, and refinance their biggest investment, delivering you timely truths, exposing important issues, and helping you get into the right home. Here are your hosts, real estate expert Daniel Beer, top-ranked professional by sales volume at one of San Diego's largest brokerages, and his mortgage partner, Todd Pianin, with over $2 billion in funded loans.
So, I hope you filled up on turkey. It's Sunday morning, and a blessed and happy weekend to you, to your family, to your loved ones. You're with Daniel Beer, #1 Keller Williams agent, all San Diego County by size and by volume, and my man, the billion-dollar loan funding, Todd Pianin.
Happy Thanksgiving, Dan. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I think I'm like turkeyed out. I think I had turkey Thursday, I had turkey Friday, and I had turkey for breakfast this morning. I don't know about you.
Well, what'd you do that for?
Because there's leftovers. I'm all about leftovers.
You just eat whatever's in front of you?
Well, normally, yes. That's how come I'm as large as I am.
So
it's great, though. Thanksgiving's great. Spending time with the family, having, me and my brother came down, glad he was here with his son and his wife. It was a great family weekend. Hope you had a wonderful time with all your families and just so blessed. And it's was a great year so far. So
we didn't have a full business week, but we've talked a lot in the last couple of shows about after the election.
Yep.
Rates jumped and jumped and jumped. Home ownership theoretically got more expensive because for the same purchase price, a buyer could qualify for less.
Correct.
Which is something buyers are affected by clearly. That's sellers. Sellers often take their eye off the ball, off the interest rate market, and it affects a seller equally. What has happened over the course of the last week with the interest rate market?
Well, one thing I can tell you, we have a specific client I can tell you in mind that, his interest rate, he's a VA, he's a veteran, right? And he was looking a couple weeks ago pre-election. And when we repriced his loan, it was a half a point higher than where it was just 3 weeks prior.
So any easing on that over the last week?
Not so much. When you go into a holiday week, it's a light trading week, and there's not a lot of volume that happens and takes place. So, there's been some not so good, good economic data, which has also sustained these interest rates at a higher level. I'm still, like I said before, I'm still claiming it again. I'd say before the end of the quarter or first quarter next year, we're going to see it rebalancing, and we'll see rates drop one more time. But what we did see right after the election was sort of a massive amount of buyers locking into loans.
Yeah, this was really an unexpected. Well, if you think through it, you might actually expect it. But on the surface, most people would think when rates are up, loans are going to be down. Less buyers will be out there. But what we've noticed on our end, and I'd love to get your perspective on this, is we're noticing that buyers all of a sudden were woken up and said, hey, this decades-long bond bull market you've been experiencing, loving all these low interest rates,
right?
These years of us telling you they're going away, it actually is happening. And so despite the higher rate, right, about half a point higher than pre-election,
correct,
there's a rush to the loan and refinance market before it's too late.
Yeah, and a lot of people who were in the refinance mood have kind of missed the boat a little bit too, because they're so used to this 0.0 fee refi kind of thing that everyone's been selling. I think that it also took a lot of companies by surprise. I think a lot of mid-tier companies, their volume has dropped. As a bank, our lock volume in November dropped by only 5%, which I think is pretty strong considering we're doing about we do close to $1 billion a month, in funded volume. So 5% really doesn't, it's a big number for us. It's a big number for us. But if you can imagine these mid-tier companies that sort of built themselves around the whole refinance boom, 0.0 fee type deal. But what Taish and I have been doing, and we've been talking to clients about, especially in a purchase market, is we're talking about, go back to paying a point. You'll pay 1.5 points. You can still get rates in the threes when and people don't realize that when you pay points, especially on a purchase, those are tax deductible in the tax year that you purchase a home. So, you can still get an attractive interest rate. You just got to pay for it.
So, have people actually missed the boat as far as rates are concerned? Or what advice would you give somebody to recalibrate their expectations from, hey, you may not be getting 3.5%, but we are still at historical lows. You still can, you know, if you act today, how much happier would you be than if you act a year from now?
You're going to be much happier. That much I will tell you, and we'll talk about that at the San Diego, Home Sellers Workshop that we have coming up on November 30th. You should get your tickets now at 800-676-2420, 800-676-2420. Dan and I are doing a special post-election home sellers workshop, and we can talk about where we think interest rates are going to be a year from now. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to get people to rethink about things differently, Dan. We're talking about, more short-term fixed-rate loans, kind of like the loan that you and your family have. You have the 10-year fixed, I believe, because most people stay in their homes or their loans. Historically, it's been 3 to 5 years. We talked in last week's episode about that timing. People were staying in homes longer. But the thing that's weird is that when I've talked to people about switching into that program, I'm not seeing as much velocity. People still want that 30-year fix. They still think they're going to be in their house for a very long period of time. And I don't really understand. You can still get a low something with a 3 in front of it if you look at a 7-year or a 10-year fixed, which you and I have always talked about are good loans. Those are not a bad loan.
It's a loan I have.
Right. It's a loan I have.
But I'll tell you what, you do have to do it intelligently, right?
Right.
As you're listening to Real Estate Exposed, Daniel Beer, Todd Pianin, you can call us here, 800-676-2420. If you're going into an adjustable rate mortgage, you do have to do it very intelligently with a clear picture of what the future holds for you. If your income, as an example, is rising quickly or dropping quickly, or if your career is growing or shrinking, or if your family is, you just married, your family is bound to grow, so you're going to outgrow the space you're in. You just have to look at these things and then make an intelligent decision. I would tell you to buy yourself a few years of cushion. So as an example, if you think you're going to be in your home for 3 or 4 years, you might get at least a 7-year, if not a 10-year.
Right.
But you're going to end up paying a lot less for the time you do own the property. And let's face it, if you're a first-time home buyer, you purchase let's call it $350,000, either 1 or 2 bedroom condo, and you have dreams of 3 children over the next 5 years, you won't be living there 5 years from now.
No, and
You're moving,
and people.
So why pay more?
Well, but some people think they're going to become Trump, right? And they're going to become this heavy real estate magnate, and they're not going to need their home to.
They're going to hold it and rent it.
And they think they want to be an investment.
There is an advantage to that, because if you can pull that off,
that's great.
You're getting primary. You're getting owner-occupied rates. You're
Correct.
living in the property for X amount of years, turning that into a rental, and you have now a rate advantage there too.
Well, that goes back to a reason why you should pay points as well, though, right? Because if that's what your thought process is, and you still want something with a 3 in front of it to pay a point or a point and a half, you can get a rate in those mid-tier 3% range by paying points.
If you're going to be in it long term, it's going to be worth the point.
And if you're thinking about doing it as an investment property, no,
you have to run the numbers.
It's right.
You run those numbers with them.
Yes, we do it all the time, and because of the tax savings. I mean, people don't realize that you can write off points. That sort of has gone. That whole talk has gone away, Dan. I mean, the whole thought process that when you're buying a home, that if you pay points on the purchase of the house, you can deduct it right off, it's right, it's a deduction for you on your tax returns. And a lot of people don't take advantage of that because they're so programmed into the 0.0 fee kind of structure.
So here's the deal. This rate conversation, while not the sexiest, it's important. The environment's changing quickly, and you need to understand what it looks like, whether you own property and are going to hold it. Call and find out what it all looks like. Here's an amazing question. People every year, anyone that has a stock portfolio, they talk to their financial advisor or their whoever's managing their stocks, and they talk. Okay, what does my portfolio look like? If you have real estate holdings, for whatever reason, you don't do that. Right. Every year, you get a health check on your body.
Right.
You don't get a health check on your real estate holdings. So you need to.
But they do if they're our clients, because we check in with our.
But most people do not do this,
right?
And this isn't about buying, selling, or anything else. This is about just find out.
Right.
You might have a plan on holding 20 more years. you still need to have a health check.
Right.
Okay? Call 800-676-2420. And remember, the home selling workshop post-election special edition coming up. It is it's around the corner. All right? It is November 30th. It's coming up Wednesday, November 30th. And we still have 8 tickets remaining for the 12:15. And we have 11 tickets remaining for the 6:30. We are filling the room fast. And if you're looking for your free tickets to understand the trademarked 5-day Blitz program that so many local celebrities here in San Diego County have talked about, including Kogo's own George Chamberlain at one point would talk about it consistently. This is the place to go to learn the entire 5-day Blitz program. You might be a for sale by owner. Come learn the 5-day Blitz program.
The 5-day Blitz program. I mean, I always teased Dan. He's sort of like the Elon Musk of the real estate industry. He's kind of changing the way things are done. And we talked about last week how, part of his 5-day Blitz is you don't do open houses, you do grand openings.
Well, you come and take this plan with you. That's the beauty of the workshops. This is literally where you take the how-tos, the A to Z. You take it with you so you can implement. And the workshop is November 30th. It's offered at 12:15. It's also offered at 6:30. And so there should be a time that's good for you, whether lunch or after work. You can bring a guest, but it is filling. 8 tickets remaining for 12:15 and 11 for 6:30. Call 800-676-2420. This is where you learn how to get your home predictably sold at top dollar within 5 days of going on the market, all by understanding how to use buyer psychology in your favor to create a negotiating advantage. Why would you ever do what everyone else out there does, the masses? Why would you dumb yourself down when you could get an edge? That's coming next. Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It's about that time. The holiday season, and it's a darn good one.
I wonder how retail sales did on Friday for Black Friday. I mean, I can't believe that we're playing It's a Lot Like Christmas. Thanks, Mike.
Welcome back to Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer, Todd Pianin, and it is a beautiful time of year. But as a home seller, if you're planning to sell your home, it's an even better time. And that's not a convenient thing I'm saying right now. I've been prepping you all year that we've been on the radio here with you all year long. We've been talking about the November-December sellers market. Say what? You never heard of that?
No, I've never heard of a December. Everyone talks about family time.
Never heard of the sellers market in November, December?
No.
Well, you have if you've been listening to this show. Because the entire year, we've been talking about how you take advantage of the market by acting different than the masses. And if you look at inventory levels right now, and it'll continue to trend this way through Christmas, through the new year actually, they're dropping and they're dropping and they're dropping. Nobody comes to market this time of year. That means that the buyers who are out there who need to make a move, who just moved to San Diego,
hold on.
just got relocated. I can't hold on.
Say what?
That means that the buyers that just moved to San Diego, that just got relocated,
yes,
that just had a family, change, marriage, divorce, children, death, different issues that cause moves. Those things do not care what time of year it is. Those things happen regardless of the calendar. And what happens to those buyers, those people, those people that have to purchase a new property, is they don't know what to buy. There is very little for them out there because all of your home selling competition, which is going to come out of their hibernating state and compete with you once we start hitting spring or at least, late into February, all that competition that's going to suddenly hit you in the face, it's asleep at the wheel. They're just not paying attention. Okay, you have an advantage. And this is not a convenient thing to say today because here it is today and we sell homes. No. We've been talking about this all year. If you know us and you've ever asked us what's our favorite home selling months, we would tell you November, December, January, February. Why? Because those are the 4 months when competition is not looking, and you can go in and be that home that buyers have no choice but to pay up for, and it's a beautiful thing.
But Dan, the media tells us this is the worst time of year to buy or sell a home. The media, who's did such a great job in the election predicting who's going to be president, the media is telling us that this is not a great time of year to be buying and selling. Why would they do that? Why? So that way realtors like you can kind of take the month off? I mean,
I don't know what their motives are, frankly, other than that they are not professionals in what we do. They're professionals in being talking heads.
Predicting the election.
Okay. Yeah. Really great job they did there.
Sorry.
Right?
True.
So listen, you're thinking about selling your home. This is when you get ready. This is when you take action. A lot of people that you might have already been getting ready. If you're the smartest home sellers have been prepping for this. But we're just at the first quarter of this 4-month cycle, where there's little competition.
You know what's weird about this that I've noticed in December and January for you and I are normally, and Dan and I do a lot of business together, and not pumping Dan and I up, our teams up by any stretch of the imagination, but those are usually our biggest months. I mean, historically, when I went back, because I was building my business plan for this next coming year, in December and January, there's so many purchases that happen.
Because here's the other thing that's happening. You and I are at work, and your average amateur agent, and I will say that with unapologetically, because the reality is that's what the grand majority are. And that's not my opinion. That's what the numbers show when everyone's averaging 4 deals a year. 4 deals a year.
They're on their pumpkin spice break?
They're on a pumpkin spice break. They're in Hawaii. Who knows where they are.
Right.
Okay? That's also why. That's why you see that, Todd. But you're listening to Real Estate Exposed, Daniel Beer, Todd Pianin, and if you are thinking about selling your home, and you've heard so much talk, whether it be here or in other media across San Diego County, about the home selling workshops, there is a special post-election edition of the workshops that you can't miss. All right, the tickets are free as they've been in the past, but the content is beefed up. Free tickets are available. I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to then tell you more. 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420. And my favorite part of this whole thing, Todd,
if you can't remember the number, you can also go to SanDiegoWorkshops.com and register there, right?
SanDiegoWorkshops.com. My favorite thing surrounding the workshops entirely
is spending 2 days spending all that time with me.
No, it's talking. It's really talking about what a seller really cares about. They're about to outlay money. Where does that money go?
Right.
What part of the house? Coming up after the break, Todd is going to share with you an article, because we're talking about the media pumping mind-numbing crap that's based in nothing.
Right.
There is an article on a very respected source, highly read.
Yep. Very highly read.
Highly respected, highly read, highly circulated source that feeds into the numbing
of the
critical mind of the home seller or buyer.
Or the dumbing down of the home seller. I mean, that's what I would say, more or less.
So here, we've had a relationship, the two, Todd, I, and yourself, we've had a relationship now for some time. And because this workshop coming is so important, we have a special offer we're doing for this workshop alone. You have to tell, when you call in, you have to mention that you're listening to Real Estate Exposed. And then what that will do is not only will you have free tickets, but what you'll get is a full home sale preparation audit. That means not only do you attend the workshop, but you get a personalized, professional look at your average list sales price ratio for property like yours in your neighborhood, the days on market, virtual shelf space, the recommended virtual shelf space for your home, and an on-site visit to complete the audit from one of our specialists, 100% complimentary. We don't care who you do business with. We don't care if you use us, you use someone else. You'll sell with who you want to sell with. You're going to get that just because you're one of our listeners. We love you, and we're thankful this Thanksgiving. Number's 800-676-2420. like money,
I love money.
then why on earth are people ready to throw dollars at the wrong home improvements when they're prepping to sell their home?
Because of this article.
Or articles like it?
Well, let's talk. Can I ask you about this article? It's a very big article, Dan.
Absolutely. But first, welcome back to Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. Todd Pianin of Home Street Bank, Dan Beer of the Beer Home Team at Keller Williams Realty. What is this article, Todd?
So it was on a major website. It's talking about thinking of selling your home. Don't overlook an outdated kitchen. Buyers won't. They also talk about outdated bathrooms.
And that's the headline, right?
Right.
So there's actually some decent information in the article.
Right.
And then some stupid information, too. But there's some decent information.
Can
Most people won't ever get it because people just read headlines.
I want to bring up the stupid information, but you talk about the decent information first, because we just talked about this at break about the stupid information they wrote.
Well, the decent information is this. Okay, the title again is Thinking of Selling. Don't overlook an outdated kitchen. Buyers won't. So immediately, if you're just browsing headlines, which most people do, you're already thinking, well, boy, I better go do a full kitchen remodel.
Right.
Okay, that's where my blood starts boiling because that's the wrong advice. Now, you start reading and actually getting into the data in the article, and actually there's some decent information. It shares with you, you know what, maybe you don't have to do the whole remodel, perhaps the cabinets. You know, you can make cabinets look a lot better, almost new for sometimes even $300 or $400, and it's going to make a massive, that's a great ROI you're going to see. You're going to see many dollars back for every dollar invested, which is the point of business.
Right.
It's the point of, that's the point of doing any of this.
Right.
Right. And then it gives a couple other examples in that vein. But then the article gets stupid again.
Well, right, but let's go back to the smart stuff real quick, because you always talk about, there's easy fix-ups, right? I mean, you talk about that in the home selling workshops. I mean, there's easy fix-ups like...
There are home improvements that if you do particular things when prepping your home for sale, you're going to make money. You're going to increase the net dollars to your pocket.
Will you get 5X?
Absolutely, you may.
Really?
Depending on what you're doing, you can get 5X. Hey, take something like what we just discussed, the kitchen cabinets.
Right.
Ratty-looking kitchen cabinets that might be able to be painted, made to look fresh. You know, the material's good. It's just the surface that's not good. So a buyer walking into a place, let's role play this, right?
Yeah.
You walk into a property, you see the kitchen.
Yep.
It looks like garbage.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
like it's all chipped. It's just okay. A few things are psychologically happening. First off, you're thinking, boy, I'm going to have to replace these or do something with them. That's going to be at least $5,000.
So it gave me a yucky feeling.
It gives you a yucky feeling. So that's exactly right. So that's part two. Part one is you think, well, boy, that's going to be about $5,000, because that's what people think. They think it's going to be $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000,
right?
And they just assign a random one of those to everything,
right?
Okay, so you're thinking, boy, that's $5,000. Now you also got a yucky feeling. You said,
yeah.
So you now are associating that to what else is wrong? What else do I have to do? Now, not only is it I need $5,000 here, now you say, and I probably need another $10,000 for something else.
Well, I think there's deferred maintenance throughout the whole house, right?
Precisely.
I mean, that gives me a yucky feeling.
So there's an example of a big time ROI.
Got it.
Big time.
So let's talk about what
big league.
Should
I say big league?
You could say big league.
Okay.
So, you know, in this article, it says if you decide to complete a full remodel of your outdated kitchen, you can expect a 66% return on a $30,000 upgrade.
And this is where everything goes to hell.
So if I put $30,000 in, am I going to make 67% on that $30,000?
You're saying you're only going to get 67% of it back if you read. Which is also misleading. When people think, let's just go and remodel the kitchen.
Right.
Let's go just tear out the bathrooms. Anything you read, whether it be this article or any other, you'll rarely see, you're rarely going to see anybody that takes you to recouping 100% of your money. And from time to time, you might see you might see an article that takes you like 103%. But you're rarely making real money. So why should you do that? You really only do that if the kitchen has gone to absolute hell, where it's going to cost you $30,000, but the buyer in their mind is going to say, oh my God, this is $60,000. Then you do it, okay? Because you're trying to avoid getting unfairly penalized. But the problem I have is a lot of people, we don't get to talk to everybody. We don't get to everybody's living rooms or in dining room tables to have a one-on-one, belly-to-belly conversation before it's too late. And they say, look what we've just done. We had a perfectly good countertop, and we replaced it with a newer countertop, so now we're worth so much more. And I'm sorry to tell you, that might not have been the best place for you to invest your dollars. You might have been better off with paint, with flooring, keeping some of it just simply in your pocket, and of course with the number one home improvement, which is staging.
Well, can I ask a question?
All that is part of the Home Seller Workshop conversation, in addition to all of the new presidency material that we have based on all the coming changes.
So my question is, will you sometimes, will your specialist or will you sometimes go out to a house and just go, you know what, don't do anything? I mean, your money is just going to be thrown out the window, and we can just get, as you talk about in the home selling workshops, this house is a total complete remodel. So why even update it with a fresh coat of paint or change the door handles? Or, I mean, have you ever just...
Another very good point. Some people are going to, the whole house is in need. Okay, the whole house.
I mean, you always make fun of me, but I always watch, all these reality $1 Million Listing Los Angeles shows, right? And people are always they're showing, one of the top producers on the show is showing a lot of homes right now, and he's trying to keep. He doesn't want the house torn down. It's like he thinks it's a Hollywood legend house. You know what I mean? So my question to you is: have you guys ever walked through? Have you or your specialist ever walked through a home and said, you know what? Best use of dollars for this sucker would be not to do anything, because you're going to get this is going to become, let's call it either a remodel tour or a fix and flippers kind of thing.
What happens is you have a property that is entirely outdated for the neighborhood. Okay, because that's the other part of the analysis. You don't just look at these things in a vacuum, and that's why you really need professional opinion. You need to also look at it and assess it versus what the expectation is of your particular neighborhood for your particular property type at your particular price point. And so if you're severely outdated compared to the market expectation for a home like yours, and you throw some money at a bathroom or at the kitchen or at the flooring, but you leave everything else because you're out of funds, what you now have is good money after bad, because buyers still are going to look at your property like a remodel. Yeah, you're giving them a little bit of a head start, but
right.
They're still going to look at your property like a remodel. They're going to still have to factor in not only the money required, but the time and effort. And so you're going to be you're not going to be happy you put that money into the wrong place. Well,
I'll get 67% of it back.
Yeah, which is amazing that's somehow advertised as a cool thing. Have you ever, if I was in business to get, for every dollar invested, it just gets $67 back, I'd be in the broke house.
Well, you mean quick. For every dollar, I get 67 cents back.
Excuse me, 67 cents back. Yeah, I'd be broke faster than you could blink.
Exactly.
It's amazing. But there's a lot to it. You can't look at these things in a vacuum. And for that reason, as a Kogo Real Estate Exposed listener, as we've been together all year, it's post-Thanksgiving, and we're still very much in the Thanksgiving mood.
I'm stuffed.
The Home Selling Workshop post-election edition. Okay, it's a special edition. It's coming. It's November 30th, all right? It's coming. November 30th.
Coming up fast.
12:15 and 6:30. We're doing it twice that day. Real Estate Exposed listeners, when you call in and get your free tickets, Real Estate Exposed listeners, you're actually going to get a full home sale preparation audit. That includes not only the average days on market and the average list sales price ratio for a property like yours in your neighborhood, so that you could have a proper price strategy, but also our virtual shelf space recommendation, which is a metric we use and have used successfully to sell over 190 homes this year alone. Okay? We give that to you and an on-site visit so that we could assess what home improvements should be done, which ones shouldn't. Now, here's the beautiful thing about it. You then can just sell your home how you want with who you want. You want to sell it on your own? You want to use your cousin? You want to use Uncle Bernie, your best friend?
The neighborhood agent?
Absolutely. You could hire us because that's what we do. But you're going to use who you want. And so you just get that, not on any future business expectation, but simply as our Thanksgiving show of gratitude for having been with us all year long here on Real Estate Exposed. You're listening to Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. The number to get those free tickets and your home sale preparation audit is 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420.
Or if you forget, go to SanDiegoWorkshops.com. You can find us at SanDiegoWorkshops.com and Facebook, Real Estate Exposed.
Give you that number one more time for those free tickets. It's 800-676-2420. We're wrapping up the show in our final segment. Coming up next, you won't want to miss it. God bless you. We'll be right back.
Dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay.
Hey, that is for all our fellow countrymen. We also played a Christmas song. We're in the holiday mood. We're very thankful to be here with you on another Sunday morning. Real Estate Exposed, News Radio 600 Kogo, Daniel Beer, Todd Pianin. We're going to just spend the next 6 minutes together expressing our personal story of gratitude that we have learned over the course of the last year.
So, Dan, what are you most thankful for? That's what I want to know over the last year.
There is nothing I am more thankful for. And if you're like me, you're this way too. And you likely are because you're here, you're educating yourself. And congratulations on that, by the way. Because most people are just playing hip-hop on the other station or doing something different. You're here, you're learning, and you're even doing that on a Sunday. What I am thankful for and what I encourage you to do, to be, to have the biggest life possible, to have a life worth living, a life by design, is to come out every day fiercely pursuing your dreams, your goals, and to be unapologetic. I charge toward what I want. I have those values, instilling them into my children, or my son, I should say, and my twins. I feel like I'm already doing that for them. They're in my wife's belly, but they are on their way. And you do that fiercely and unapologetically, and you do it as your authentic self. Now, you've seen people that show up big in life. You've seen people that show up big, and they have a certain personality, and that might not be yours. And so you be you, but be you in a completely authentic and unapologetic way. When you do that and you wake up day after day and you don't just listen to shows like this, you don't read the books you're reading, you don't attend the seminars and the workshops that you attend, but rather you attend and then take action. That's where I am most thankful for that gene, whatever that is in my DNA. That's what I'm thankful for. And if you have that, I'm sure you're thankful for that as well. Because everyone else reading those same books, listening to those same radio stations, and attending those same workshops, who simply go, take notes, and leave, they're professional. They're just professional note takers. They're professional readers. But I and you, we are people of action. That's what I'm thankful for, because that has given birth to everything else that is good in my life and the value that we can instill in others to make their life better. There is nothing I take more seriously than our core values within our business and our purpose. And that purpose of mine being to provide a real estate experience that is professional and so, that provides an experience beyond what anybody else out there is used to, because let's face it, it's an amateur industry. So when we up the game, when we provide more value, that enriches others, and by turn it enriches us, which most importantly allows me to enrich the lives of those people on my team, because they're the ones that make it all tick. And on this Thanksgiving, I say I am personally very, very, very much filled with gratitude for being able to spend every Sunday morning with you. Wow.
How do you follow that one? That was a pretty big one. That's a pretty big one. I have to say I'm thankful for a whole bunch of stuff this year, but one of the things I'm most thankful for is my mentors. My mentors have taught me how the littlest things can create such giant changes. One of my biggest mentors, she talks about what's called the compound effect. And doing one little thing, changing one little thing daily, can actually create this whole abundance of wealth or abundance of change in your entire life. So I've spent this past year making little changes in my life to get big results. And I would say that I'm very thankful that it was something I learned quickly, caught on early, and now take in practice. I mean, I have become more mindful. I've become more thoughtful. I've really decided that I'm going to make some major changes in who I am. And I started that in January, and I'm taking it all the way to the end of the year. I mean, as Dan can tell you, I'm a third of the person I used to be.
Literally.
So, I think that I'm thankful for the opportunity for me being able to share my opinions with you guys on this Sunday morning when you could be doing so many other things. And I'm thankful for the fact that, just last Sunday, I got a text from an old colleague who said, it was great listening to you on the way to church this morning. So I'm thankful for all of you as well, that you can take advantage of us.
We are hoping you will take action as well. Join us. Let's come meet in person together. Again, last time we're throwing it out there, the home selling workshops, the post-election free workshop where you learn the entire 5-day Blitz program that we've used to personally sell over 190 homes this year. We give you that plan so you can make sure that you get a professional result, however it is you end up going about your home sale. Tickets to the workshop are available at 800-676-2420. They are complimentary. And because you're a Real Estate Exposed listener, just say so when you call in. You'll also get a free home sale preparation audit, which includes all of the specific metrics to your home you need, including your personalized virtual shelf space and an in-home visit so we can recommend what home improvements to do and not do. That's yours, 800-676-2420 or SanDiegoWorkshops.com.
I'm Todd Pianin from Home Street Bank, a member of the FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS ID number 304014. Happy Thanksgiving weekend.